Desperate relatives are among more than 700 rescue workers here, digging by hand, trying to reach more than 50 people still buried under this large mudslide. Many of the victims were sheltering in a former bunkhouse, which had been converted into a church when the mountain gave way under heavy rain, wiping out several flimsy homes in the process. More than 48 hours on, hopes have now faded of finding any more survivors.
We thought that it was safe. They thought that it was safe, but we don't know. It's nature.
Roel's cousins and uncle are yet to be found. Access is limited. Only 2 narrow, saturated trails lead to the site of the disaster zone, so heavy machinery has not been an option. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, attending a disaster briefing, offered his condolences.
I share the grief of those who have lost their loved ones. Those are what we would call unforeseen events. In insurance, it is in term an act of God. I don't know how it can be an act of God.
Arnel Bahinawan is helping coordinate the recovery effort. His distant relatives are among the victims. He says many here resisted an early evacuation by government officials, instead choosing to stay.
For how many years they've been staying there when the typhoon comes and there was no incident that happened like this. So they were banking on the stiffness probably of the church or that building and that mountain, but unfortunately this happened.
It could still be days at this site for recovery teams. The immediate response was hampered for more than 19 hours before they could even access this area because of blocked roads from landslides, heavy rain and wind.
Several roads remain blocked across the province. We met Rosalina at one of the roadblocks. Her nephew was killed by this landslide. It took more than 24 hours to find him.
Very sad. We cannot accept.
In other parts of the country, the clean-up continues. Norma Madamba, a resident of Baguio City, says a part of her home was buried in mud and she thought her son was going to die, rescuing 2 people trapped in their basement.
Nagpapasalamat pa rin ako sa Diyos dahil buo pa rin kami at walang nasaktan.
Her 20-year-old son is recovering in hospital.